All right, folks, welcome back. We're here at Module 7 of the End User Training for Microsoft Office 365 Teams. This one's kind of a fun module here. We're going to talk about tips and tricks on how to make your Teams environment work a little bit better for the end user. So number one, we want to take a look at tagging. Use your app mentions, but use them selectively. App mentions call attention to a message and notify the end user in their chat window that there is a message waiting for them. Here's the big one. Just don't overdo it. Using app mentions all the time, I look at it like the boy who cried wolf. Don't overuse it. Use it for important information. So don't overuse your app mentions or your tagging environment. That is a really, really good tip. Use your favorites. Utilize bookmarks just like a browser. I can favorite messages that I want to easily return to, files, conversations, whatever I want to. I would recommend a heavy use of favorites, especially if you're working on a project. You might be working on the same document every single day. Add that as a favorite, especially if you're having meetings. It makes it really easy to navigate to information that you use all the time. Also, learn your keyboard shortcuts. If you ever want to, hit Control+. That will populate in the Teams window all keyboard shortcuts that you can use. I know a lot of people in my experience don't like to use a mouse. They like to use keyboard shortcuts. A lot of times your DevOps people, your coding people really, really like keyboard shortcuts. So if you want to, you can just hit Control-L and that'll go ahead and show you what keyboard shortcuts are available for the Teams environment. For file management, this is a great idea. Populate the Files tab in your team. This allows you to collaborate very easily, populate a file as a tab, or populate a file as an application up in the Teams meeting window. Very easy management this way. Anything you're working on as a team should be in the team file repository. Makes it easy for people to search and to populate the files that are needed for the Teams meeting. This is an underserved aspect. I would highly recommend filling out your wiki and your FAQ apps for help for the end user. This will minimize help desk calls and it will give the users the ability to help themselves. In today's world, helping themselves seems to be more popular nowadays. I would add a lot of FAQ functionality. Add your files to your teams and your channels for collaboration and display updates between the team members. Populate your FAQs, your help environment, add files up to that environment right there that provide instruction to the environment. Chat titles. When you are doing conversations, to organize your conversations a little bit easier, format them. Organize them in a way via subject or provide context. I guess the best way to say that is to use the format icon to specify maybe a color, maybe a different font style to organize your messages in your chat environment. Again, your activity feed, your chat environment, the more you use it, the more information is populated to it. It might be a good idea to implement some sort of legend or some sort of configuration functionality to identify different conversations, whether this be colors, whether this be bold font. Use your format icon to give your messages specific content availability or organization to make it easier to navigate. I love this function, connectors. You can use connectors to integrate other services within Teams. Let's say you're working with Salesforce or Dynamics CRM or something like that. I can use a connector to connect into another application or service from my Teams environment. So I would highly recommend using connectors to connect into Twitter, Facebook. If you're populating pictures, that kind of stuff, we can connect in to a Facebook account, to a Twitter or an Instagram account, to I'd say probably about 1,000 different applications are available as a connector. Activity alerts are very, very nice functions. Again, we looked at this in the last module, how I can modify my notification environment. So I have my mentions, my messages, my meeting settings. Configure alerts to manage your workflow and your tasks. Silent notifications that aren't important, enable those for non-important conversations, and then enable dual functionality like banner and email on important messages and updates instead of just an email or just a banner.